The Stoics, an ancient school of philosophy, believed that true strength lies not in conquering external forces, but in mastering our own emotions. In today's world, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. Have you ever felt drained by negativity after interacting with someone? Toxic people can disrupt our mental well-being, leaving us feeling frustrated and powerless. But what if there were practical strategies to navigate these difficult dynamics? We'll go over 13 practical, Stoic-inspired ideas in this video that will give you the ability to handle toxic people with compassion, grace, and resilience. Join me on a journey to protect your emotional well-being and subscribe to the channel for more tips on developing mental resilience. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with a toolbox of Stoic wisdom to handle toxic people effectively. So take a deep breath and let's begin. Number 1. Identifying and understanding the toxic threat. Take a moment to picture yourself serving as a guard at the entrance to your very own personal citadel. Your inner tranquility, physical health, and emotional safety are all represented by this citadel. Without a doubt, awareness is the first line of defense in protecting this fortress. In the same way that a watchful guard must notice potential dangers, you need to recognize the indicators that a toxic individual is approaching. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who advocated reason and self-control, tells us in his Enchiridion that it is not what happens to you that upsets you. More importantly, it is your judgment of what happens. It is especially important to keep this advice in mind when dealing with toxic people. Their negative attitudes and manipulative actions do not have the power to control you. Your emotional reaction and perception of these behaviors determine their effect on your inner peace. Cultivating a Stoic gaze, a calm and objective way of viewing the situation, is key to success. Learning to recognize toxic behavior is a necessary step in this process. Warning signs of toxic behavior. Constant criticism. A toxic individual may always find fault with you, your actions, or your decisions. Whether indirect or overt, their criticism will leave you feeling deflated and uncertain. Manipulative tactics. Toxic people often use deception to control your behavior. They may resort to flattery, guilt trips, or even threats. Negativity. A toxic person thrives on negativity, constantly complaining and dragging others down with their pessimism. Beyond these general traits, there are also several types of toxic personalities to be aware of. The narcissist. Constantly seeking approval and admiration. This person may seem charming at first, but ultimately leaves you emotionally exhausted. The gossip. Thrives on social turmoil, spreading rumors, stirring up trouble, and enjoying the friction they create. The energy vampire. As the name suggests, this individual drains your vitality, leaving you mentally and emotionally exhausted after each interaction. Developing a mental map of potential threats to your inner citadel starts with recognizing these toxic personalities and their behaviors. Just as a Roman Stoic philosopher like Seneca might strategize to combat an adversary on the battlefield, you can use your newfound awareness to anticipate harmful tactics and safeguard your emotional well-being. Number 2, fortify your walls. Put yourself in the shoes of Marcus Aurelius, the famous Stoic emperor of Rome. To rule a vast empire, one needed power, knowledge, and unyielding determination. When it comes to strengthening the walls of your own inner citadel, your emotional well-being, these same attributes are vital. Undoubtedly, the boundaries you establish form the foundation of this citadel. When dealing with toxic people, boundaries are the clear lines you draw in the sand. They determine the kinds of conduct you will and will not tolerate. Just as a powerful monarch would not allow his borders to be violated, you should not permit toxic individuals to intrude on your emotional territory. This is where Stoic philosophy comes into play, emphasizing the importance of reason and self-control. The first step is to determine which activities drain your energy or violate your sense of self. Is it a friend's persistent pessimism, a co-worker's manipulative behavior, the intrusive advice of a family member? Be honest with yourself about what you will no longer tolerate. The next step is to communicate these boundaries clearly. Tap into your inner Marcus Aurelius. Be firm yet fair. Here are some effective strategies. Use I statements. Instead of accusing, say, I feel drained when conversations constantly focus on negativity, rather than, you are always so negative. Be specific. Instead of, I need some space, say, I can't talk right now, but I'd be happy to chat later this week. Stay assertive, not aggressive. Convey your boundaries with confidence, but without hostility. Establishing boundaries is not a one-time event. Like a Stoic ruler always on guard against barbarian invasions, you must be firm and consistent. A weak wall is easily breached. If a toxic person disregards your limits, calmly remind them of the boundary. If necessary, reduce or eliminate contact. Remember, setting boundaries is not about punishing others. It's about protecting yourself. The Stoics, who avoided envy as a source of toxic discourse, understood that defending your well-being is essential to inner peace. A strong citadel, fortified with well-defined boundaries, is a crucial part of your Stoic journey. Number 3, become uninteresting to the emotional barbarian. Imagine a ferocious emotional barbarian, driven by negativity and craving drama. Some toxic individuals behave just like this. They seek attention, thrive on emotional reactions, and fuel their fire with your frustration. They poke and prod, hoping to provoke anger or hurt. The Stoic ideals of emotional regulation and indifference to external disturbances inspired the Gray Rock method, a powerful tool in dealing with such people. This technique, developed by therapist Paul Friedman, involves making yourself emotionally unresponsive, not shutting down completely, but presenting the equivalent of a smooth, featureless gray rock, neutral and unyielding. Seneca, the great Roman Stoic philosopher, reminds us that true happiness resides in enjoying the present without anxious dependence upon the future. This teaches us to detach from the need for attention. Toxic individuals crave reactions, whether positive or negative. The Gray Rock method deprives them of this satisfaction. To apply this technique, respond neutrally. If a toxic person insults your work, say, "That's interesting," and move on. Avoid emotional engagement. Do not get drawn into their arguments, guilt trips, or hostility. Stay factual and uninvolved. Keep responses short and neutral, refusing to fuel their negativity. Seneca teaches that the path to genuine happiness is to avoid being ruled by hopes or fears. Don't give toxic people the emotional power they seek. While effective, the Gray Rock method is not a miracle cure. Some toxic personalities may escalate their behavior, testing your resolve. Stay calm, consistent, and remember, you are not responsible for their negativity. By applying this Stoic-inspired method, you transform from a passive victim of their emotional theatrics into an unmoved observer, safeguarding your inner peace. Number 4, the broken record technique. Imagine facing a relentless onslaught of manipulation. A toxic individual constantly chipping away at your boundaries through deceptive arguments and emotional ploys. This can be exhausting, but don't despair. The broken record technique, inspired by Stoic perseverance, offers a powerful defense. This strategy involves calmly repeating your stance, like a broken record stuck on the same message, until the manipulator gives up. Though simple, it is remarkably effective at deflecting attempts to derail you. Epictetus, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, teaches that freedom is the only good. This includes the freedom to set your own boundaries and say no without explanation. The broken record technique embodies this principle. By calmly and consistently reiterating your position, you display unwavering determination. How it works. Neutral repetition. If someone pressures you to do something, simply repeat, "I'm not available," without justifying or explaining. Resist emotional manipulation. Manipulators may use flattery, guilt, or anger to sway you. Stay firm and unemotional. Disrupt their strategy. Like waves crashing against an immovable rock, the manipulator's arguments will weaken while you remain steady. Contrary to popular belief, the broken record technique is not about confrontation. It's about enforcing your boundaries with calm persistence. Stoicism emphasizes reason and logic in handling life's challenges. By using this technique, you empower yourself to resist manipulation and protect your inner peace with unshakable determination. Number 5. Don't take the bait. The Stoic art of emotional detachment. Imagine you are walking past a fisherman casting his line into the water. He has carefully selected his bait, hoping some unsuspecting fish will take the hook. Now imagine that the fisherman isn't fishing for fish. He's fishing for you. But instead of worms or lures, he uses sarcasm, guilt, provocation, and manipulation to reel you into emotional turmoil. This is exactly how toxic people operate. They dangle insults, guilt trips, passive-aggressive remarks, and inflammatory statements, waiting for you to react. Once you do, they have you hooked, trapped in a cycle of arguments, stress, and negativity. But there's a way to remain untouched by their tactics: Stoic indifference. The power of Stoic indifference. Before diving into this concept, it's essential to understand what Stoic indifference actually means. It is not apathy or a lack of concern for others. Instead, it is the ability to remain emotionally detached from negativity while still acting with wisdom, integrity, and self-control. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus made a clear distinction between apathy and indifference. Apathy is emotional numbness, where one feels nothing at all. Indifference is the ability to remain unaffected by things outside your control, particularly negativity, insults, or attempts to manipulate your emotions. This distinction is crucial when dealing with difficult people. Apathy makes you cold and unfeeling, but indifference grants you the ability to engage with the world without being controlled by it. Toxic individuals rely on emotional reactions to sustain their drama. If you refuse to give them what they want, their attempts lose power. Step 1. Recognize the bait. Before you can resist the bait, you need to recognize it. Toxic people use various strategies, including sarcastic remarks that seem playful but carry an undertone of disrespect, guilt trips disguised as concern, e.g., "I guess you don't care about me anymore," passive-aggressive comments that provoke frustration, playing the victim to manipulate your emotions, blatant insults or criticisms designed to put you on the defensive. By identifying these tactics, you immediately weaken their impact. When you see someone baiting you, pause and ask yourself, is this an attempt to provoke me? Do I need to engage with this? What happens if I simply don't respond? Step 2. Observe without reacting. The true strength of Stoic indifference lies in observation without participation. When someone throws bait at you, imagine yourself as a calm lake. The insult hits the surface, but creates no ripples. Instead of reacting emotionally, respond with composure or not at all. For example, if someone makes a sarcastic remark, shrug it off or change the subject. If they try to guilt trip you, stay neutral and don't justify yourself. If they insult you, don't let their words define you. In some cases, you can respond with calm detachment. Toxic person: "Wow, must be nice to have so much free time while the rest of us work hard." Stoic response: "I hope your day is going well." This kind of neutral, unfazed response diffuses negativity while signaling that their words hold no power over you. Step 3. Let the drama dissolve. When you refuse to engage, the negativity loses its momentum. Toxic people thrive on drama, emotional reactions, and conflict. But when you don't respond the way they expect, their power over you vanishes. Think of it like a fire. If you stop adding wood, your emotional reactions, it burns out. Over time, toxic individuals learn that they can't manipulate you, and they may either change their behavior or simply leave you alone. This does not mean you become a heartless robot. Stoicism teaches that it's okay to express positive emotions, such as love, joy, and kindness, but negative emotions that distort your peace should not control you. Your inner refuge, a mind untouched by others' chaos. When you practice Stoic indifference, you become a peaceful observer rather than a reactive participant in negativity. This allows you to maintain your inner serenity, no matter how others behave. Imagine being in a storm. While others panic and run for shelter, you stand calm and composed, knowing that the storm will pass and that you control your own response. That's the power of Stoicism. You don't need to fight every battle or defend yourself against every remark. Instead, you remain unmoved, knowing that your peace is more valuable than engaging in petty conflicts. Final thought: choose your battles wisely. Not every comment deserves a reply. Not every argument is worth your energy. By practicing Stoic indifference, you protect your mind, preserve your energy, and focus on what truly matters. So the next time someone casts their bait, remember, you are not a fish. You don't have to bite. Number 6, the art of the non-reaction. Imagine a verbal gladiator, someone who is a master of insults and barbs, thriving on heated arguments. Some toxic individuals live for this domain. They use words as weapons, aiming to provoke anger, humiliate you, and ultimately lure you into their emotional sphere. Here is a Stoic strategy that is not only effective, but also frequently underappreciated: the art of the non-reaction. When deployed strategically, silence can be a powerful weapon against verbal assaults. It disrupts the dynamic toxic people seek. However, astonishing silence does not come easily to everyone. We are often conditioned to defend ourselves, to respond, to win the argument. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches the significance of mastering our reactions. Stillness maintained at the right moment demonstrates true control. To better understand the strength of non-reaction, consider the writings of Marcus Aurelius, the well-known Roman Stoic emperor. Putting a stop to the toxic dance. Toxic people often rely on predictable patterns. Their tone is negative, and they expect a reaction from you. When you respond with anger, annoyance, or defensiveness, you feed their fire and sustain the toxic dance. Having no reaction disrupts this pattern. By choosing silence, you deny them the emotional response they seek. Picture a tennis player swinging their racket toward an empty court. Their powerful serve falls with a thud, met with nothing but silence. In this perspective, silence is not empty. It is a form of communication that conveys meaning without words. It demonstrates high self-control and an unwillingness to partake in their negativity. The message it sends is one of strength and non-attachment to emotional manipulation. It is important to remember Marcus Aurelius' advice. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Your quiet exemplifies the attributes of a good Stoic. You are calm, rational, and unmoved by outside provocations. Prepare for escalation. When using non-reaction, a toxic person may escalate their efforts, hurling further verbal insults in an attempt to elicit a response. Stay composed. Remain unmoved in your silence. Remember, silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a powerful instrument used by those who are truly strong. Non-reaction is not a universal solution, but it is an important tool in your Stoic arsenal. When used strategically, it can disarm toxic people, protect your inner peace, and demonstrate control over your emotions. By choosing silence, you make a powerful statement without uttering a word. Number 7, limit your exposure. Imagine being inside a walled citadel where your mental health is meticulously preserved by strict boundaries. However, even the sturdiest walls cannot fully protect you from external threats. Toxic individuals, like persistent intruders, may still attempt to penetrate your defenses. This is where the Stoic idea of controlling what you can control comes into play. While you cannot control the actions of toxic people, you can control the amount of time you spend with them. Reduce interaction where possible. One of the first lines of defense is minimizing contact with toxic individuals. If possible, establish physical distance. Can you avoid them altogether? Reschedule a lunch engagement? Politely excuse yourself from an unnecessary conversation? Keep in mind that this is not about being impolite. It is about protecting yourself. Just as a Stoic leader would not send his forces into an unnecessary conflict, you should not expose yourself to negativity without necessity. However, avoiding toxic individuals is not always feasible. Sometimes they are co-workers, family members, or close acquaintances. In such cases, establishing emotional distance becomes essential. Strategies for emotional detachment. Mental detachment. Epictetus tells us, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one another. This highlights the importance of mental detachment. Understanding someone's negativity does not mean emotionally engaging with it. Observe their behavior without allowing it to affect your mood. Cognitive reframing. Toxic individuals often manipulate emotions through negativity. Cognitive reframing, a method influenced by Stoic principles, can help. Instead of internalizing their negativity, reframe it objectively. If a coworker constantly complains, instead of absorbing their negativity, think, they seem to be having a rough day. Focus on positivity. Toxic people thrive on negativity. Do not let them take away your happiness. Shift your focus to positive aspects of your life, your passions, meaningful work, and supportive relationships. These serve as emotional armor, protecting you from their negativity. Limiting exposure, both physically and emotionally, is not cowardice. It is self-preservation. Protecting your inner peace and practicing self-care is vital. The Stoics emphasize living a rational life. By reducing interaction with toxic influences, you create space to cultivate a flourishing inner life. Imagine your fortress surrounded by a wide moat. It serves not just as a physical barrier, but as an emotional one, shielding you from the advancing negativity of toxic individuals. Number 8, build your support system. Picture yourself as a guard standing at the entrance of your inner fortress. Your walls are reinforced with firm boundaries. You have mastered the art of non-reaction, and you have distanced yourself from toxic influences. However, even the most formidable warrior requires a powerful phalanx, a formation of trusted allies to hold the line. Your support system is your Stoic phalanx, an essential component in maintaining your inner serenity while confronting negativity. The Stoics, particularly Seneca, emphasize the importance of living in harmony with nature, which includes surrounding yourself with virtuous individuals who uplift, inspire, and share your core beliefs. In times of difficulty, these allies provide support, guidance, and unwavering encouragement. Their wisdom and presence act as a buffer against the draining effects of toxic individuals. Having a safe space to express frustrations and reflect on experiences is crucial for emotional resilience. Toxic people often erode self-worth, but a strong support system counteracts this, reinforcing your value and reigniting the fire within you. A robust support system also provides positive role models. The Stoics believed in surrounding oneself with individuals who embody the virtues one seeks to cultivate. Observing their strength, resilience, and optimistic outlook will inspire you to navigate negative situations with grace and fortitude. Building and maintaining this support system is a continuous process. To cultivate this formidable phalanx, consider the following. Invest in quality time. Engage in meaningful interactions with your trusted allies. Share experiences, listen actively, and foster deeper connections. Join communities that align with your values. Clubs, volunteer organizations, or online groups can introduce you to like-minded individuals who naturally become sources of encouragement. Express gratitude, acknowledge and appreciate those who support you. Their presence in your life is a powerful force for good. By nurturing your Stoic phalanx, you create an impenetrable shield against negativity. Strength, perspective, and renewed optimism come from positive influences. Even the most well-guarded fortress benefits from a strong external defense. Your support system ensures your inner sanctuary remains secure. Number 9, prioritize self-care. Engaging with toxic individuals is like enduring an unrelenting assault. It depletes your emotional energy, leaving you exhausted. Just as a Stoic warrior tends to their wounds and sharpens their blade after battle, you must prioritize self-care as a fundamental component of your Stoic lifestyle. Think of self-care as an investment in your mental and emotional well-being. It is not an indulgence, but a necessity for resilience. Incorporate it into your daily routine, making it as essential as any other vital task. By doing so, you restore your emotional reserves and fortify your defenses against negativity. Consider these self-care practices. Engage in activities that bring you joy. Identify and immerse yourself in activities that genuinely relax and recharge you. This could include exercise, such as running or yoga, or creative outlets like painting or writing. These practices help de-stress and provide renewed perspective. Practice meditation and mindfulness. The Stoics engage in contemplative practices similar to meditation. Training your mind to detach from negativity and cultivate inner peace is a powerful tool for emotional strength. Seek solace in nature. The Stoics emphasize living in accordance with nature. Whether it's a walk in the park or a hike through the woods, immersing yourself in the natural world can reduce stress, improve mood, and provide clarity. Listen to your body. Your body continuously communicates with you. Pay attention to signs of exhaustion, tension, or emotional depletion. Don't wait until you are completely drained. Incorporate healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and regular breaks into your routine. Set boundaries around your self-care time. Just as you establish boundaries with toxic people, safeguard your time for relaxation and restoration. Decline commitments that interfere with your well-being and schedule moments for self-renewal. Prioritizing your well-being is not selfish. It is essential for maintaining emotional resilience. By integrating self-care into your Stoic way of life, you strengthen your ability to navigate adversity with clarity and strength. A warrior ensures their armor is secure and their sword is sharp before battle. Likewise, your emotional well-being must be fortified to effectively deflect negativity and radiate positivity. Protect your energy, restore your mind, and move forward with unwavering composure. Number 10. Remember, it's not about you. Picture yourself with a dark cloud looming over you, spewing negativity and obscuring your view of the outside world. When dealing with toxic people, you will frequently encounter situations like this. They create a poisonous environment by projecting their own worries, insecurities, and issues onto those around them, negatively affecting others. The concept of prosage, rooted in Stoic philosophy, serves as a formidable defense mechanism in this context. We are encouraged to view ourselves as intelligent observers standing outside the emotional storm. Through the use of this principle, Stoic philosophers teach us to become impartial analysts of issues, separating ourselves from negativity and focusing on rationality. When interacting with toxic people, maintaining detachment is essential. The insults and negativity they express are rarely directed at you personally. Rather, they are reflections of their own inner struggles. You can navigate this toxicity through Stoic detachment in the following ways. Recognizing projection. Toxic individuals often resort to blaming, criticizing, and negativity to divert attention from their own inadequacies. By applying Stoic distancing, you can observe their behavior objectively, much like a scientist studying a phenomenon. Understanding the source. Their negativity is a product of their own inner turmoil, not a reflection of you or your worth. When you detach yourself emotionally, you realize their actions are not a reflection of your character, but a symptom of their struggles. The dark cloud analogy. A dark cloud may cast a shadow, but it has nothing to do with the ground it temporarily obscures. Above the clouds, the sun still shines brightly. Epictetus, a major Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This highlights the importance of focusing on your Stoic path. The time we have is sufficient if we use it wisely. Avoid wasting energy on the negativity of toxic people. Maintain emotional distance, prioritize your well-being, and continue walking the Stoic path toward virtue and inner peace. Detachment is not apathy. While it is possible to show compassion for others' struggles, you are not obligated to become a victim of their emotional storms. Practicing Stoic detachment transforms you from a passive target into a centered observer. Remember, above the darkest clouds, the sun still shines brilliantly. Number 11, don't try to fix them. The desire to heal and help can be powerful, especially when dealing with someone you care about who engages in harmful behaviors. However, Stoicism teaches that this path often leads to frustration and emotional exhaustion. Toxic individuals, like plants suffocated by weeds, require their own willpower and effort to change. This transformation cannot be forced. Here's why. Focus on what you control. Stoicism emphasizes directing energy toward your own responses and actions rather than trying to change another person. Personal accountability. The responsibility for a toxic person's behavior lies with them. They must choose to confront their issues and seek virtue. Trying to take this responsibility for them only creates an unhealthy dynamic and prevents them from growing. Acceptance of the uncontrollable. One of Stoicism's core principles is accepting what is beyond our control, including the actions of others. A toxic person's negativity is their burden, not yours. Recognizing this frees you from the futile effort of trying to change them. Imagine your inner tranquility as a blooming garden, the essence of your Stoic path. Toxic people with their negativity are like weeds threatening to choke your growth. Trying to remove them from another person's garden is a waste of energy. Instead, focus on cultivating positive relationships, nurturing your virtues, engaging in self-care practices. That said, Stoicism does value guiding others toward virtue. If you feel compelled, you can encourage self-reflection in the following ways: providing resources, share books, suggest therapy, or offer insights that might help them reflect on their actions. Leading by example. Demonstrate Stoic principles in your own life. Your calm demeanor, measured responses, and commitment to virtue can serve as a powerful inspiration. Despite your best efforts, some toxic individuals will remain entrenched in negativity. In such cases, Stoicism advocates setting boundaries and, if necessary, walking away to protect your well-being. You cannot control their journey, but you can choose your own path. By embracing these ideas, you shift from being a frustrated fixer to a Stoic facilitator. You can offer guidance without sacrificing your own peace, allowing your inner garden to flourish regardless of the weeds in others' lives. 10. Remember, it's not about you. Picture yourself with a dark cloud looming over you, spewing negativity and obscuring your view of the world. When dealing with toxic people, you will frequently encounter situations like this. They create a poisonous environment by projecting their own worries, insecurities, and issues onto others, resulting in widespread negativity. The Stoic concept of prosauche, a form of mindful detachment, serves as a powerful defense mechanism in such cases. We are encouraged to view ourselves as intelligent observers standing outside the emotional storm. By applying this practice, we separate ourselves from negativity and focus on the rational aspects of the situation. Toxic people often blame, criticize, and spread negativity to divert attention from their own inadequacies. By practicing Stoic detachment, you can recognize their projections for what they truly are. Their negativity is a product of their own internal struggles, not a reflection of you or your worth. Think of the dark cloud. Although it may momentarily cast a shadow, it has nothing to do with the ground beneath it. Above the clouds, the sun continues to shine. Similarly, the negativity of toxic people does not define you. Epictetus reminds us that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Your time and energy are valuable. Do not waste them engaging with toxic negativity. Prioritize your well-being, maintain your emotional distance, and continue walking the Stoic path toward virtue and inner peace. Detachment is not apathy. You can acknowledge others' struggles with compassion while refusing to be consumed by their emotional turbulence. Protect your inner peace by shifting from a passive target to a centered observer. Always remember, above the storm, the sun is still shining. 11. Don't try to fix them. The desire to help, heal, or play the role of a therapist can be strong, especially when dealing with someone you care about. However, from a Stoic perspective, trying to change a toxic person often leads to frustration and emotional exhaustion. Toxic individuals, like plants choked by weeds, need their own willpower to change. No amount of external force can compel their transformation. Focus on what you can control. Stoicism teaches us to direct our energy toward our own actions and responses rather than trying to change others. Accountability belongs to them. A toxic person must take responsibility for their own negative emotions and behaviors. Taking on this burden for them creates an unhealthy dynamic and prevents them from learning accountability. Acceptance of reality. Some things, such as the actions of others, are beyond your control. Trying to change someone who resists change is futile. Accepting this reality liberates you from unnecessary suffering. Imagine your inner tranquility as a flourishing garden. Toxic people, with their negativity, are like invasive weeds threatening your growth. Instead of wasting time uprooting weeds in someone else's garden, focus on tending to your own virtues, positive relationships, and well-being. Despite your best efforts, some people will remain entrenched in negativity. In such cases, Stoicism advises setting boundaries and, if necessary, stepping away to protect your peace. You cannot control their journey, but you can choose your own path. By embracing this philosophy, you transform from a frustrated fixer into a Stoic facilitator, one who offers guidance without compromising personal well-being. 12. When to walk away. Imagine yourself seeking refuge in your Stoic fortress, a sanctuary of inner peace. You've developed emotional detachment, cultivated a healthy mental garden, and strengthened your walls by setting boundaries. Yet despite your best efforts, a toxic person's negativity continues to threaten your defenses. Stoicism emphasizes rational living and moral integrity. Persisting in a relationship that disrupts your inner peace contradicts these values. Removing yourself from a harmful situation aligns with Stoic wisdom. Protecting your inner sanctuary. Your inner peace is sacred, cultivated through mindfulness and virtue. Allowing toxic influences to remain is akin to permitting an ongoing siege on your fortress. Focusing on what matters. Seneca reminds us that the whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Remaining in an unhealthy relationship wastes precious time and energy that could be invested in meaningful connections and personal growth. Accepting what you cannot control. Other people's behaviors are beyond your control. Walking away is not an act of weakness, but one of acceptance and self-preservation. You are not abandoning the person, you are abandoning a harmful dynamic. Before making the decision to leave, consider: have you tried all reasonable solutions? Communication, setting boundaries, offering resources. Is this a recurring pattern or an isolated event? How significantly is this relationship impacting your well-being? 13. Forgive yourself. Imagine embarking on a long journey with a heavy backpack full of resentment and anger toward a toxic person. This burden slows your progress, drains your energy, and keeps you trapped in the past. Within Stoic philosophy, forgiveness is about releasing emotional baggage, not for the other person's sake, but for your own. The Stoics emphasized accepting what is beyond our control, including the actions of others. Holding on to resentment only prolongs your suffering, contaminating your present and clouding your future. To forgive yourself and free yourself from negativity. Focus on your inner landscape. True power lies in controlling your thoughts and actions, not external events. By letting go of resentment, you reclaim your mental space for peace and well-being. Understand that forgiveness is not approval. Forgiving does not mean excusing harmful behavior. It means accepting what happened, acknowledging that it is beyond your control, and choosing to move forward with a lighter heart. Break the cycle of negativity. Resentment is a self-imposed prison. By holding on to it, you allow toxic individuals to continue influencing your life. Forgiving yourself is the key to breaking free. To cultivate forgiveness. Acknowledge your emotions. Recognizing your feelings of anger and hurt is the first step toward healing. Practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Shift your perspective. Was the toxic person acting maliciously, or were other factors at play? Gaining a broader understanding can foster compassion and ease resentment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. By letting go of negativity, you create space for healing, growth, and a fulfilling life. Picture yourself continuing your journey, your burden lightened, ready to embrace new adventures with renewed strength and tranquility. By applying these 13 Stoic principles, you transform from a passive victim of toxic people into a resilient guardian of your inner peace, a life free from negativity.